Hey guys, before we start the video, I want to quickly promote my Twitter since I don't do it enough and it's becoming a much bigger part of my channel. I try not to do update videos too much now, so if you want quicker, more up-to-date stuff on what's going on with this channel, my life, or just want some random game opinions and memes, you should follow me at ZaffreRevo. What? I don't know. It's great, and I'd love to have you over there because you could vote for a future video or see some inspiration of my own. Case in point, I mean, it's not exactly that, but... Hello, my name is ZaffreRevolution, and I'm a Nintendo Switch addict. It wasn't always like this, though. For a while, I was content with everything I had as a gamer. My collection, just casually playing games and making videos at a steady pace, it was great. But even still, my eyes would always wander off to the Nintendo Switch and all its glory and success. After the mini direct we got January 2018, I couldn't deny myself any longer and made a beeline to get it. Ever since, my productivity has dropped, and I've spent a huge chunk of my time and money on this damn system. And why is that, you may ask? Well, there are many reasons and a lot of factors determining why it's such a successful system and why I love it so bloody much. So sit back and relax while I talk about the brilliance of the Switch. Yo, do you hear that? The sound of me getting better at dropping the name of my videos? Or is it me getting better at naming videos? I don't think it really matters, so let's just get started. First and foremost, the console's premise, that is, if you could even call it one. See, the Nintendo Switch's main advertising point is that it's a hybrid between a console and a handheld. So you can play it on your TV or just take the actual system, a tablet, outside the console and take it wherever you want. That in of itself is a fucking dream come true, especially when you take the Wii U into consideration. I thought that's what the system was going to be, but when I found out it wasn't, I was a little disappointed. And sure, that may be due to me raising my own expectations too high, but like, can you blame me? When I say that the game can be played on a handheld, I, like many others, assumed I could play Smash Bros while taking a shit, and I can't really do that. Now I just have to be a slave to Fire Emblem Heroes even when I'm taking a dump, so like, thanks Wii U. And not to mention the name, branding, and design of the console were all just so off to me. Like, if you call it the Wii U and don't give me much new other than a new controller in HD, then yeah, I'm gonna be a bit disappointed. Don't get me wrong, I loved the system overall thanks to the games and some other stuff, but it could have been so much more. And the fact that it isn't what it could have been is why it was such a failure to begin with. This system fixes all of what I didn't like about the Wii U while also introducing some things to make it stand out that much more. Besides the already mentioned console handheld hybrid aspect, the system just looks really badass. The tablet is small and a lot more comfortable than the gigantic Wii U gamepad toy. And I personally have the neon blue and red model and love the little bit of vibrant color to make it stand out, and even distinguish player 1 from player 2. Speaking of which, the fact that you can take out the controller for comfortable play and for 2-player action is so damn cool. It's really not emphasized enough just how amazing it is to set up my Switch and play Mario Kart with a friend whenever I please. Makes it a little awkward when I start raging and the people around me don't have context, but let's not dwell on that too much. And that concept in of itself has encouraged a lot of games to push co-op again, which makes me so happy. Then there's the better looking UI, the faster processing, and the console itself just screams cool more than the Wii U ever could. Just look at the advertisements. It's aimed at a much more mature demographic, and it makes me respect the system that much more. I had much more interest in the system than the Wii U. I just got the Wii U a lot quicker than the Switch. And you know, you can't really blame me since the Wii U was out for much longer than the Wii U, so the drive to get a new system was there more than it was for the Switch, if that makes any sense. It overall looks and feels like a console that can stand up to something like the PS4, what was my favorite console in this current generation. Now let's talk about games. Of course, I could go on and on about how the Switch is releasing good games, but I don't think that goes with the video idea of why the Switch is brilliant. The brilliance comes from what games are being released and how it triumphs over the Wii U. With the first year of the Switch coming to a close relatively soon, we've seen a lot of success just with Nintendo games alone. A new 3D Zelda, an open world 3D Mario, an online multiplayer shooter with style, a tactical RPG starring the plumber, Fire Emblem meets Dynasty Warriors, a 100-hour fantasy JRPG on average, so on and so forth. All games that could suck up hundreds of hours while being really damn good in their own right. The Switch started off strong, which it definitely needed to, and it just keeps going strong from there. This year we're getting a mainline console Pokemon game, Fire Emblem, Kirby, and much more. And that's just from Nintendo themselves. We've also got massive third-party support, which not only the Wii U lacked, but nearly every other console produced by the big N. Can't forget about the indie games too, or the Nindies, I guess they're called. That's pretty stupid. They've been consistent as usual, and we're only gonna get great games from here on out. Lots of stuff is being released, and they take up a hell of a lot of time at that. They're hitting us with the big names, which gives so many reasons for people to buy the system. They want to play the console exclusives and games winning awards left and right. Like, Mario has nipples now. Fuck it, I'll buy 20. But of course, when talking about games, we have to address the elephant in the room and the biggest criticism against the console: the ports. There have been a lot of re-releases for the Switch, especially Wii U games. However, you have to remember that the Wii U was Nintendo's biggest failure. The Wii U barely sold anything, and as such, a lot of people missed out on some great games like Mario Kart 8, Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, Pokken Tournament, Bayonetta 2, and a lot more that are all excellent and deserve to be played. Because of how well this current system's selling, it only makes sense for them to put these games out to a wider audience. And it's not like these games are taking too much time, they just add content. The base game's already done. So I don't see what's wrong with bringing great games to a bigger audience who probably want to play them. And hey, if buying re-releases isn't for you or you've already played them, guess what? You ready? Stay with me and listen. You don't have to buy them. I personally love re-releases and video game remakes because they iron out what didn't work, along with bringing games to a wider audience, and that's just what they're doing here. I mean, double items in Mario Kart to help item balancing sounds great, and it even comes with a lot of extra shit and all the DLC. Gunvolt in 60 FPS with all the really great DLC and more? Why the hell not? And motherfucking The World Ends With You Final Remix, all the added content and updated presentation of Solo Remix and then some, making for a very wet pair of pants and a very, very happy fan of the original. I'm just so happy. Along with the fact that the console is a freaking portable too, it provides an all-new way to play games you already love or are just trying for the first time. I love it so much. A new spin on top of already tweaking the games themselves is just a formula for success. So if you aren't coming for the exclusives, you might as well come for the definitive versions of many games. And who would say no to that? Honestly, this system has a lot to offer. Great design, it's portable, has a lot of games that'll suck up an unreasonable amount of your time, definitive versions of already fantastic games, and a lot more to come. But of course, there are ways to perfect it. The first thing that immediately comes to my mind is the Virtual Console, and I'm really surprised that it isn't here already. This is something that the Wii U doesn't get nearly enough credit for, as the Virtual Console on the Wii U was fucking awesome. From the NES all the way up to the newly added GBA and even DS games, it offered a lot. I want the library to be even bigger this time around, going up to the DS as well, and if it's not too much to ask for, give us GameCube games too. Would love to play games like Melee and Path of Radiance wherever I want. That'd actually be a dream come true, and I'd love to play Fire Emblem without spending $200 fucking, Jesus Christ. And we have a universal Nintendo account now, being My Nintendo, so I expect to not have to pay for the same classic games again and want to be able to carry my library over to my Nintendo console of choice. I also don't know if they're still going through with paying for online, but if they do, that's kinda lame. So update on the online, they actually announced it, and yes, we're still paying for it, and it's gonna be like $20 a year or something like that. I'm a little disappointed that they're still making us pay for it, but like, I mean, what's done is done. No use crying over spilled milk. We're gonna have to pay online, which is kind of lame, but I'm hoping that it'll be stable and that it'll be good and worth the price of admission. So, yeah. And that's about it for improvements on this console. I just think that it's a damn good system. Can you tell how much I love this thing? It may be too early to say, but this could easily become my favorite piece of hardware made by Nintendo, especially if my improvements are taken into consideration. There's a lot Nintendo's doing right, especially after the Wii U's failure. I don't want you all to get the wrong idea though, I love the Wii U so much. It's a great console full of fantastic games and a phenomenal Virtual Console and eShop. However, it was clear that they needed to step up their game and get the sales and popularity needed to keep up with the PS4. You know, it's strange how there's only one console carrying this whole generation, isn't it? The Switch is just so much better, being what I wanted the Wii U to be and more. And that, along with providing great games to boot, just make the system brilliant and worthy of all the success it's getting. I can't wait to see how great it does this year, and my wallet's already crying in pain, so bring it on, Switch. Your boy is definitely ready. Also, The World Ends With You, oh my god!